Well, the last discharge of my duties for today is to ask Ahmet Polat, the Executive Director, to present some closing remarks and to thank everyone for their cooperation and tolerance in respect of the meeting here today. It was a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to be a part of a very milestone and memorable lunchtime.
Thank you so much, my cousin John. And good afternoon, everyone. And welcome back to Affinity for another year. I hope you all enjoy a restful break and are ready to get back into a year of exciting programs at Affinity. As the Executive Director of Affinity Intercultural Foundation, I would like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend today's lunchtime lecture. This afternoon, we have had the privilege of beginning our year with a lunchtime lecture from former Foreign Minister and New South Wales Premier, the Honourable Bob Carr. Bob has given us a great insight into Australians' position on the global scale. Thank you, Bob, for sharing your insights with us. I'm sure we have all walked away with a lot of think about. I'd like to thank my cousin John McCarthy for sharing his time and expertise in facilitating today's program. I'd also like to thank Sami and Mehmet for sponsoring today's event. I would also like to give a big thank you to our advisor board members who have been the bridge that has led to us acquiring so many of the great speakers and facilitators that you will see on our program this year. Now, I would like to call on my uncle, Richard Bronowski, President of the Australian Institute of International Affairs, New South Wales, to present a gift to my cousin John McCarthy. Small gift. It's all gifts come from my uncle's shop. Okay. Mohammed, thank you, Mohammed.
And
John, please.
Just before I get to this, a slight correction to my cousin, my nephew.
Okay, thank you.
I'm the immediate past president of the New South Wales branch of the AAA because I'm doing other things right now. But thank you very much for the
pleasure.
Now,
John?
John McCarthy. John is someone I don't know very well, but I'm getting to know because another John McCarthy, a good friend of mine, was also an ambassador in Washington, Tokyo, Indonesia and various other countries. This chap's only been in the Holy See, but it's a spiritual ambassadorship. It's very important. And no doubt a lot of what John has done at the Holy See has improved the morality of the Catholic Church to the point where they're admitting how much property they own and there's beginning to be a certain feeling of guilt about whether they're giving enough money to the people who've been maligned and mistreated by some of the priesthoods. Anyway, John, it's all right. I've discussed it with a nun here today and she sort of agreed with me. I'd like to say
Thank you, my cousins. Thank you. Before finishing the program, I'd like to share with you some of exciting programs that we have planned for the first half of this year. In late February, we are partnering with the Fountain magazine to bring you 3 exciting events over 2 days with speakers from interstate and overseas. On Monday, 26 February, we'll be kicking off with a lunchtime lecture with Professor Sofia Pandaya from California State University, Long Beach, who will present a talk on the topic of women in religion, challenges and opportunities. The lecture will be facilitated by cousin Noel Debian, religion specialist from ABC Radio. Later that day, we will be hosting an evening panel discussion at the University of Newcastle, Sydney CBD campus. The topic of discussion will be religion in the modern world, which will be facilitated by veteran ABC radio journalist, my great uncle John Cleary. Panelists will include Professor Sofia Pandaya, Professor Paul Weller, Coventry University, UK, and new cousin Tim Costello, Chief Advocate of World Vision Australia. I would like to thank Professor, my cousin Anne Brewer, who helped us to acquire this venue. Thank you, Anne. On second day of Phantom Magazine events, concluded a lunchtime lecture with Professor Paul Weller, who will be joining by Notre Dame University's Professor Ian Benson to present a talk on religious freedom and human rights in secular society. Following this, we are organizing a special lunchtime lecture with two law academics on Thursday, 15 March. Professor Geraldine Raleigh from the University of Sydney and Professor Michael Adams from Western Sydney University will be discussing the topic of teaching ethics to future lawyers at Affinity. This event will be facilitated by Professor Mary Crock, she's my cousin from University of Sydney. Later that month, we will be kicking off our Middle East lecture series with two highly esteemed academics, Lowy Institute's Associated Professor Roger Shanahan, Dr. Gillian Drogon from Macquarie University, who will be presenting a lunchtime lecture on new power politics, confrontation, and competition in the Middle East on Wednesday, 28 March. The event will be facilitated by my new cousin, Quentin Dempster, contributing editor of the New Daily. Then, on the evening of Wednesday, 4 April, we will be launching the Affinity Plus Youth Lecture Series. The platform is truly one of a kind. We will be arranging speakers from all backgrounds and professions to tackle topics that are important to young people like me. The first session will be feature the 2018 Australian Youth Representative to the United Nations, Amos Washington. He's not from Washington, he's from Adelaide, who will be talking about youth leadership. Our discussion on the Middle East continues on Thursday, 5 April, with Dr. Noah Bassel from Macquarie, Tarek Isavi from the New South Wales Police Force Media Department. On Wednesday, 18 April, I think synchronizing with me. On Wednesday, 18 April, we revisit the topic of religion with a talk from Monash University's Emeritus Professor Gary Boma. He's my uncle. He's also UNESCO's Asia Pacific Chair in Intercultural and Interreligious Relations. He will be presenting a talk on Australian religious diversity in the 2016 census, which will be facilitated by my great uncle, Dr. Sev Ozdovsky, Chair of the Australian Multicultural Society and Affinity Board member. On Tuesday, 24 April, we will be hosting Megan Mitchell, the National Children's Commissioner. Details of this event will be confirmed soon. If you attended our events at the end of last year, you would have heard me promoting the International Festival of Language and Culture, which Affinity and Amity College, I think Bob Carr visited 13 years ago at that school. I was deputy principal of that school, Bob, and I still remember your speech there. And co-hosting on Saturday, 5 May at the International Convention Center, IC Sydney. Now I would like to show you a short 45-second video promoting the event. Enjoy your video, please. Thank you. I warmly invite you to join us for this wonderful celebration of fun, festivity, and diversity. You can find more information on this festival and all the events I have mentioned on our website. To conclude, I'd like to thank Minay and Burak Alpay and the volunteers for their tireless efforts in making this event a success. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our new staff member, Burak Alpay, Burak is at the back, who joined us at the beginning of this year. Burak is our new project officer who will assist us in planning and delivering our events, including the A+ Youth Lecture Series. Once again, thank you for your attending today. I look forward to seeing you again at our future events. And 26 lunchtime, 26 evening, and 27 lunchtime. Thank you. Have a lovely day.